Hey everyone, welcome back to the His and
Yes.
Hers the Truth podcast. I was almost made a boo boo there, but no worries. Hey, honey, this is my beautiful wife.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sim, and thank you for joining our channel. And you know what, honey? We're not getting a lot of Ninja watchers. They're starting to subscribe, and it looks like you guys are
Yes,
sharing and showing us some more love. So please do, if you like to hear the truth and everything else, please share, please subscribe, and show us some love. That way we can, create more contents for you guys.
correct. Although, like I said, yeah, the view count has definitely gone up. So thank you so much, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely subscribe to the channel, right? Push this truth out there, right? Because we know we're
Push
getting
it
shadow
out.
banned. We know we're getting suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
So please do that. And then, of course, love all the comments that's been coming in. I know this is
Mm-hmm.
a topic that I think you guys connect with, as in
Yeah.
terms of all our Asian brothers, and I'm sure there's a handful of Asian sisters watching out there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know us. We're harsh on both
Oh,
genders
then.
here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we tell the truth like it is on both sides, and it is hopefully to guys get you guys aware, so that way you guys can have better positive outcomes. Okay.
True.
Speaking of both genders, hey, we're gonna have another live show this Sunday, right?
Yes.
Right around 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Uh-huh.
So join us for that, guys. We're gonna have a couple of new girls on the
Mm-hmm.
show, and also I think a couple guys as well too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good blend, new mix,
Yeah.
new guests on the show. And I think it'll be some good content, very relatable content to the Asian community, and of course to you, Asian brothers and Asian sisters that are still out there in the dating market. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but hey, guys, this is gonna be a reaction video of part two of a video we reacted to recently, Honey Bun. So
Yep.
go check out that video, guys. It was titled "Ryan Pownell"
Mm-hmm.
or Pownell,
Mm-hmm.
racist white guy uses LUs to shit on Asian guys. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
guys, and this is part two of that video.
Part
So we're
two.
gonna react to the last part of this video.
Yes.
Let's begin.
So if you want to draw a generalization about a race and make it accurate, you can't be just cherry picking sample sizes and data and then apply it to a whole race. That's like the same thing as if I ate a burger place that was like really and then I'm just like, oh, I hate burgers because they all taste right? Like that makes no sense. The logic is just not there, but we got to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt since this whole podcast is about, interviewing these smart, intelligent women, right?
You have to have like a good sized dick, right? You need to have like 6 inches. I have a rule. It has to be like 6 inches or a good 5.
So the second thing that really grinds my gears about these clips, right, is just because you add according to the stats doesn't mean it's okay to say something that's like racist. I'm like so confused here how this guy hasn't been canceled yet, because let's just like pretend he said something else, not about Asians, but about a different demographic that's more vocal. Like this guy would have been canceled so quickly, right? It blows my mind how this guy hasn't been canceled yet. And I think a big reason for this is because Asians in general don't speak up against this type of stuff. And as long as Asian people just let this stuff slide and don't call it out, then people are gonna think they can get away with this type of stuff. Which, if you compare something such as Stop Asian Hate to another social movement such as Black Lives Matter or BLM, the reception by the public was absolutely night and day. Like BLM was this viral movement that everyone participated in. If you weren't part of BLM, you weren't cool, like it was absolutely the thing. But then I felt like the Stop Asian Hate movement just got swept under the rug. So you can kind of see how like people seem to think it's okay to be racist towards Asians, but then if it's any other minority, I feel like it's not the case. The last and arguably
Okay, hey, before we get into too much, because he touched on two big key topics
Mm-hmm.
first, right? First is generalizations.
Yeah.
He was like, you cannot generalize, okay? Even though the majority is what's going on, you
Mm-hmm.
can't equate to. And he used a pretty terrible analogy of like if you went to go eat at a hamburger place, and then you said that that hamburger place was bad, so now all hamburgers suck. Then
No.
that's the wrong way to look at generalizations. But
Mm-mm.
here, I will correct his generalization here in a second, honey. And so that was the first part, right? He's saying that we shouldn't generalize, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
And then the second thing he was saying is that why are we not canceling people for telling the truth? That
Okay.
is the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah.
I will have my thoughts, but I want your opinion first, honey bun. So those two things, right? Like the
Yeah.
fact that we didn't have a vocal voice as Asians, and we should be canceling this guy for stating stats and
Yeah.
stating facts, and then the whole generalization thing. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's ridiculous. Why can't a person have their voice? And you know what? I believe that things that are said happens for a reason, Like in terms like if you You know, if these are our Asian brothers and sisters in our community aren't, you know, coming together to do this, you know, to protect one another, then you know what? How is it that you're trying to compare it with the Black Lives Matters that, you know, they're making a difference and all this stuff? No, because our community isn't supporting one another. You guys are segregating yourself from Japanese, Chinese, you know, Korean and all that stuff. We're not trying to come together. And that's what we need to change is us being vocal, coming together as an Asian community checkbox. And that's why I'm going to say that.
Okay, so my wife is trying to say what we need to do, which is 100% correct, right? But let's tackle the generalization first. And I will give you guys a better analogy on top of what he's talking. Let's say you went to a hamburger franchise. Let's say it's Five Guys, for example. And if you ate there and the burgers at Five Guys was crappy, you can generally say that all Five Guys burgers are crappy, right? He's using, unfortunately, a very bad analogy because what we're trying to say is if all Asian people have these stats, right? We talk about all the time, right? We're one of the highest self-deletion rates. We're the least desired on freaking dating apps. Well, our height, right? Penis size, all those things that we talked about. These are statistical facts, right? So we're using a better analogy in terms of generalizations because these are all coming from the same pool, right? Now, if you wanted to say like, okay, hey, all Vietnamese people, so if you're very, defining all Vietnamese people act this way, so then Chinese people have to act this way too, then that's kind of where he's trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
But guys, the stats are there. Asian people as a whole have these statistical numbers, okay? And so what we have to do is generalize. We got to generalize so that way we can encompass the whole data and not argue on the extremes or argue to the exceptions to the rule. The exceptions to the rule and the extremes are so insignificant. Why would we talk about that? It doesn't make sense, okay? And then on the whole canceling thing, why would you want to cancel someone to say truths?
Yeah.
Right? Even if they're saying truth that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Right? Why would you want to cancel somebody? Wouldn't you rather take that truth in and try to do something about that?
Get better,
Yeah.
Improve yourself, improve the community.
Let's be honest.
know?
I will be, hey, someone wants to cancel me, go ahead. But let's be honest. That whole BLM movement didn't do anything for black people. All it did was made the freaking rich people richer and all the black people that were part of that quote unquote movement more rich.
Yep.
It didn't do anything for the common black people. They used you guys to get votes. They used you guys and pandered you guys to freaking pull on your emotional heartstrings to vote for a freaking base, right? They didn't do anything for black people.
It's all political. It's
For example,
political.
if I say a stat like this, right? We know that black people are only about 10-15% of the population, right? But they make up the majority of criminals, which is the truth. Right? When you look at freaking gang killings, shootings, and stuff like that, they make more than I don't know what the exact number is, but it's more than 50% of all the freaking killings. Am I going to get canceled because that's the truth?
Yep.
I hate to say it, but shouldn't they? And this is the problem with the black community. They haven't tackled that stat. They can continue to do it. They perpetuate it in their music and in their violence. And then somehow we're supposed to be responsible for that?
Yep.
No, so
That doesn't make sense.
So Asian people, we got to be responsible for our stats.
Yeah.
You want to change it? Don't go canceling the people that's stating it.
Yep.
Go change it within ourselves.
Within our community.
Correct.
You know? There you go.
One of the most important things to point out about this clip is this guy is interviewing Lus. So what exactly is a Lu? A Lu is a girl that, according to Urban Dictionary, is Asian and rejects her Asian identity and also only dates white guys. In that first clip, one of the girls that's in it is named Ava Marie. She's actually known for just advertising the fact that she only dates white guys.
You have an exclusive white dudes only policy.
For some reason, I just attract white dudes.
Wait, what is it about those
I
white
feel like it's
guys? I'm
because
curious.
In the Philippines, they'd be like, when you grow up, you should marry like a rich, white, tall guy.
Oh, it's
Just
like a
like-
status thing?
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like
much,
having a
yeah,
Chanel purse.
So as you can see, her response to him giving the statistic about Asian guys and dating is obviously going to be biased because first off, she's on the most viral show in the world, right? So she's going to spew whatever that comes to mind to get some clout. But on top of that, the way that she makes her money is through OF. If you guys don't know how OF works, basically creators will put out exclusive content put it behind a paywall, and then you have to subscribe and pay them money to see the content. What this means is it's in her best interest to put Asian guys down because it's gonna come off positively for these non-Asian viewers and potential subscribers of her OF if she's putting Asian guys down. I mean, you can honestly, with all 3 girls in these clips, you can kind of tell they're all lose. Like, first off, usually lose are the ones that probably get into this type of line of work. But on top of that, these girls have absolutely like no respect for their culture. I don't think these girls realize how like the reproductive system work, which is kind of ironic given their line of work, since if it wasn't for their dad, then they wouldn't be here. And the irony of lose in general is that no matter how much these girls try to get rid of their Asian culture, they're always gonna be Asian. So in general, when you're consuming content, you always wanna look at who's saying it, what's their data, what's the evidence. Just be critical with your thinking, right? You shouldn't just believe everything you see on the internet. This is especially true for short.
Okay, so before we get into TikTok short form, right? So now I know what the Lu was. I was curious on what the
I didn't
Lu
understand
terminology. So it's obviously an Asian girl that only dates white guys, and
Mm-hmm.
specifically white guys, right? Okay, so first off, I want you to talk about that. Is he making a good argument that we shouldn't be listening to these girls from this guy's podcast because they're all Lus, right, honey? And then second, is that I guess a good like, because they're hating on their Asian race, they only want certain things, right, from different ethnicities. Is that really hating on their Asian race? And then the whole OF thing as well too, right? Because they're selling their body, they don't really market to Asian guys, and so that's the reason why they're kind of hating on the race. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, with the girl, I mean, they chose those preference because, like, I agree with him that no matter what, you're still Asian and all that stuff. But at the same time, she chose her preference, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So,
No, there is nothing wrong with that.
So
This is what you guys have to understand. First off, I want to talk about the whole lose thing, okay? Because guys, all women are like this, not just our Asian sisters. This is the reason why we're starting this content this year, right? Is to give awareness to our Asian brothers. Guys, it doesn't matter the ethnicity of the woman. The software is the same, right? They always want the best option. Right. And so whether that's Asian, whether that's white, whether that's black, whether that's Hispanic, they want the best option of man. And so the traits that makes the man the best option, we've talked about it on this channel all the time, right? Height, physicality, handsomeness, freaking hygiene, finance, fitness, right? Freaking status, fame, right? Resources, all those things. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are if you have all those traits in high value, right? And so the problem is Asian guys don't, in this current dating market, because we are no longer in this structured, old school, traditional dating market where, you have the family shaming, the culture shaming, and all that stuff we talk about. Asian girls are free to go date whoever they want to now. They're not going to be shamed by anybody per se, even though they might be shamed. This is the worst thing. They will be shamed by their Asian culture, which makes them don't want to date Asian people even more. That's the reason why they want to date outside of their race even more, because they know that if they date within their culture, they're going to get shamed for wanting these traits. Imagine if I told you guys are going to get shamed if you want a freaking hot chick that's going to freaking sex you good, do all the things you want them to do, be beautiful, dress sexy for you, right? You're going to be like, what? Why would I be shamed for that? So my point is,
some cultures do shame that because a girl's dressing too much, and then they're gonna call them like, "Oh my God, is she a hoe? Your wife is a hoe or a slut?" Because her dress is just a little too curvy, her chest is busting out a little bit.
My point though is that
guys
my
get
point
that
is
too.
that's what you want, right? So that's what you want. Every dude nowadays want a bad chick, whether that's Instagram model, right? If you had your choice, if we sat our Asian brothers down and said, "Hey, would you want some freaking chubby, right? Homely, not really sexy looking girl, or would you want some sexy Instagram baddie looking girl?" All men are gonna say we want the hot chick, right? So just as we know what we want, you guys need to be aware now that what women want. Okay, and because they want these things, this is the reason why they're going for these other ethnicities, because these other ethnicities, whether they know it or not,
They're not shaming
are
them.
following. Not only that, but they're also following the dating market as it progresses, right? So they realize, hey, women want these things. Men adapt, right? The problem is Asian brothers, we have not adapted to the current dating market. This is the reason why I keep making these videos for you guys to wear. And my brother, Chang, from this freaking video, wake up, bro. Like, you are not aware of the current dating market. This is how it is. And you're giving dudes, our Asian brothers, bad advice. Now, hey, This is not to say that these women are wifey material, right?
No.
Let's not get this twisted.
No.
I just said this is what they want. Out of all those things, you're supposed to filter out the ones who are truly hoes or the one who are truly wife material.
Truly hoes, but not good for your bros.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's another hashtag from
Yeah.
Simeon.
But and then why do they market?
need a hose.
Why do
That's
they
not
not
good for your
market to
bros.
Asian guys? Guys, why do they not market to Asian guys? It's just a numbers thing. We
Yeah.
don't make up a huge part of the population, and like I was saying, you guys, even though yes, I guarantee there's a lot of Asian incels that are subscribing to these chicks' channels and jerking off to their channels. Guys, you guys need to stop simping on these women.
Yep.
Okay. And then the
Wake
guys,
up.
and then the guys that don't, they're like they don't understand that this is the current dating market. This is the women that you're gonna run into, right? And so why would they? You're not gonna give them money. So why would you market to a customer base that's not giving you money? That doesn't make sense to the girl as well. And I'm not saying, hey guys, this is not about right or wrong. I'm telling you guys what the truth is currently in this dating market. Okay. So yeah, that's the problem with his argument.
Platforms such as TikTok, just because things can get taken out of context really easily. And the reason that I care about this topic is because I was actually someone that grew up around a lot of these self-hating loos. For me, I actually thought it was normal for Asian girls not to date Asian guys. This in turn made me kind of have a little bit of internalized racism, right? Like I was just like, oh man, dude, it kind of sucks to be Asian. Like most of my life I thought that. But it wasn't until recently where I realized that these self-hating loos, they're actually the minority. Most Asian girls are normal, and even if they don't prefer dating Asian guys, they don't go out of their way to actively put down Asian guys. So after I realized this fact, as well as met a lot more cool Asian people in my life, I started to embrace the fact that I'm half Chinese, half Taiwanese. And instead of hiding that part of my identity, I'm actually much more proud of my identity. This type of covert racism is one of the most dangerous types because it's super easy to get swept under the rug and discounted. That's why it's all the more important to call out this stuff when we see it so that we can make sure we end this type of BS.
Okay, guys, that was the end of the video, and I wanted to leave that last part because there was one last topic I wanted to talk about from the last segment, right? Which was, these girls self-hate. They don't like themselves, right? Because they're always Asian. Like he was making this case that, hey, no matter what they do, no matter how much they shit on Asian brothers, they're always going to be Asian men. Asian, right? Ethnicity. And then now he was saying like, hey, there's this covert racism because they don't like their own race, right? And now he's met people, and this is a subjective experience, obviously, right? Because it's his own experience. He's saying that he's met other Asians now that like cooler, and even though they might not date their own race,
It doesn't make sense.
right? It doesn't
It's
make
like
sense. So
contradicting
go ahead,
your-
honey.
it's
What
like-
is your reaction to that? Because I wanted to touch on that, and I'm glad he kind of elaborated on that segment.
No, it's like contradicting. Like, okay, well, there might be a Asian hate thing and whatever else, but now I met some Asian good people, but then they're not really dating you. So it's like, well, you're gonna consider that racism because now they're not dating you, but they don't even say bad stuff about Asian people.
Yeah.
No, it just contradict. It's like these Asian brothers and sisters, okay? It's just preference. And if you guys aren't upping your game, why would they want to date you? You're not even, trust me. Most of those people who is thinking that they can't date someone outside their race, whatever else, and thinking that you are the victim card, playing the victim card now because of Asian hate or racism, it's all in your attitude. It's in your mind. It's how you carry yourself. Okay, I'm sorry to say because I don't really get that. My husband doesn't really get that.
Yeah, I hate the
And
word. I hate
and I
the
don't like
word.
that.
I hate the word preference. Let's dissect this word
Yeah.
preference, right? Because when people start talking preference, it's a way to freaking say, well, I prefer Asian men, or I prefer black
Okay,
men, or I
well,
prefer.
or
Let's
like,
be 100% honest with everyone, man or woman. We can personally care less. I get it. There's a small segment of us that would prefer a specific ethnicity.
Yeah.
But let's ask my Asian brothers out there, would you really prefer having sex with a white girl that's hot, a black girl that's hot, or an Asian girl that's hot, or a Hispanic girl? No, we wouldn't care which girl we'd have sex with if she was hot. So once again, it's the traits. If you're a hot girl, regardless of your ethnicity, we're gonna want to have sex with you.
Let's put it on there. Let's type it
yeah,
in, man.
you guys
Let's
comment on that.
comment
But
on
my
there.
point is, it always comes down to the traits. And all these people that are coping by saying that I prefer this ethnicity over this ethnicity is because of our freaking way we shame it, or because of these ethnicities don't have these traits. So just getting back to our Asian brothers, we're not the tallest height. We don't have the largest penis size by stats, right? We're goofy. Our stereotype is nerdy. We don't have obviously an alpha male personality trait, right? And so that's the reason why they don't prefer us. It has nothing to do with being Asian. I don't like us saying, oh, that's covert racism, when we don't have the traits ourselves to be freaking obviously attractive to women. If you didn't, if you had those traits, you'd be attractive to all women, let alone your Asian sisters.
Make changes, okay?
Correct.
Up yourself, make more money, clean up your attitude. Let's be more positive thinking. Like I always say, honey, what do I always like to say?
Yeah, and this is the end of the day. What my
mindset, reset, be positive.
My wife and I, what we're talking about at the end of the day is results. At the end of the day, this guy can talk about covert racism. He can talk about all this other BS, right? But at the end of the day, the stats speak for itself. More than 60, or it's probably 60% now, but more than 55% of our Asian sisters marry outside of our race. I don't care if they're being nice about it. I don't care if they're freaking being mean to our face about it. The point is they're not dating you and they're not marrying you, right? And let's be honest, are all the other ethnicities dating or marrying you? If we're the least desired on dating apps, are you getting with black chicks? Are you getting with white chicks? Are you getting
Hispanic?
Obviously not, because the stats show it. And just because our brother Chang here, look at, he obviously worked on himself.
Yeah.
He got a little bit
Little
muscle.
muscles,
He
clean up his
cleaned up.
hair.
He speaks with a little bit more obviously aggressiveness, more freaking alphaness in terms of
Yes.
his confidence. That's the reason why his own subjective experience is showing that he has better outcomes with these Asian females. But do you think that's true for all our Asian brothers?
No.
I can't sit here and be saying, oh, I have a beautiful wife, I'm wealthy, I'm freaking well-to-do, and I got my shit together. So that way all my other Asian brothers must be doing okay too. No, obviously the stats show that my Asian brothers aren't doing okay. So that's the reason why I'm trying to give you guys this information, so that way you guys can get better and get the results that we need you guys to get.
2023, let's improve and get to the goal.
Yeah.
And you guys can do it too.
But hey guys, that was a good reaction. Don't believe that BS. Don't try to cope by giving you guys all these excuses. Don't be a victim, right? Change. Know what women are. Change to be what they want to be, and you will get the results that you want.
Let's not play victim mentality.
Yep.
Okay, love you.
See you guys
Bye.
next time. Bye. Join us as we give you guys a glimpse into our lives, give you guys advice, hopefully give you guys entertainment value as well too, and provide you guys better outcomes.
Yes.